Okay. This one's really hard. I know this wasn't my typical video, but clearly this one affects me a lot because I knew the people that were killed.
It's a striking memorial called Ghost Bikes. 5 bikes, painted white down to the tires, are stacked on top of each other. A tribute to 5 dead bike riders.
Good. I hate bikers on the road. If the cyclists had not been on the highway traffic would not have collided with them. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. For the love of God, no more cyclists on the 95. It's too busy to have these old farts clogging up the road. Well, I have common sense, which seems to be lacking there. At least we all learn not to play in the highway. While lacking in common decency, some of these comments do have some valid points. If our friends weren't on the highway, the truck wouldn't have collided with them, and bikes are definitely no match for a car or a truck. What people like Sarah Stratton don't seem to realize is it's not that we're lacking common sense, it's that we know exactly what we were doing when we go out there. At least most of us do. And we understand that if we want to ride our bikes, it's safer for us to put our bikes in our cars, drive outside of the city and away from the city full of bike lanes designed for our safety, and get away from the everyday traffic that kills so many cyclists and pedestrians every year. So maybe we should all just stop riding our bikes because it's just not safe, and we should just drive everywhere instead. No more cyclists on the road would definitely mean no more deaths due to motorists, right? Let me just share a couple statistics. Every year, more than 30,000 people die in America because of automobiles. In 2019, it was almost 40,000 people. I'm not making this video to only draw attention to the fact that I can't go out and ride my bike without fearing for my life. There isn't a single cyclist out there who doesn't leave their house for a ride without the thought in the back of their head that today could be the last ride. Why do we still go out there and do it? Is it because we don't have common sense? Well, that's like asking a mountain climber, why do you hang off the edge of mountains if one little slip could lead to your death? Or asking a skydiver, why do you jump out of planes? Or asking a surfer, why do you surf when you could possibly drown? Why does anyone risk their safety to do something that they love doing? The reason I'm making this video is because I'm sad, angry, and just really tired of seeing this happen time and time again. Not just to cyclists, but her friends and family are dying every day because people have a sense of entitlement when they get behind the wheel. Cars are a privilege that many have and take for granted. People will get in and drive, blast their music, floor the gas pedal, text, and drink and drive without ever considering the consequence that not everyone is looking out for the driver who isn't paying attention. Just ask yourself, if you're one of those people that gets a text message and you look down real quick to see who it's from, what if a child runs out in front of you in that moment? Your life is over, and for you to think that it could never happen to you is just wrong. Some of the people on bikes are on them because it's the only transportation they can afford. Oftentimes, these are the people on the bikes that don't abide by the laws of the road because, like many motorists, they just don't know the bike laws. And like motorists, they need to be educated. But I know one group of cyclists that understood the laws very well. They set out for a ride that they have done every year for the past 15 years. And 5 of them are never coming home. Listen to my friend Chikken recount the story of what happened that day and why these cyclists weren't just a group of old seniors playing in the highway.
I've probably done this ride for the last 15 years. The feeling that we had that day was, it's a weekday, it's 2-lane, it's a treadmill, you can see forever, there's not that much traffic. So when we do that, we expect it not to be heavy. We don't have to worry about lights, we don't have to worry about people brushing us, we don't have to worry about nothing. We're escaping it. 99.9% of the drivers out there saw us that day. Just that one person didn't. Regardless of whatever he was on or whatever, it's just sad that he wasn't paying attention. Some of the things that were talked about, the big thing was talked about was our SAG vehicle, which is also known as a safety vehicle. This vehicle provides cokes, water, food, spare tires. Also a safety vehicle is used for safety for us that will drive behind us, lights flashing, and protect us as we're going along so that we don't get hit by cars. We get on 95, everybody's rolling, we're 18 to 20 strong, everything's fine. He's behind us, flashers. As soon as we got past Nelson's Landing, the wind kicked up, and it kicked up hard. As the hammerheads were to the front, it started to break up, and it broke up into about 3 different groups. Fortunately, I was in the first group. I-95 is like a treadmill. You can see miles in front of it. How any driver could not see us is beyond me. A couple of minutes later, as we're going, and it was windy. I mean, we were probably going only like 14, 15 miles an hour trying to get through this wind. This truck pulls to the side and says, "You guys need to stop. There's a bad accident back there. There are riders hit and they're on the road." And that's when our whole world just turned totally upside down. Flipped around, started heading back. Sometime between the time that we all got separated, during that time, some of the riders saw the safety vehicle and wanted shelter from the wind. Instead of being in front of the safety vehicle, they were behind the safety vehicle. After that, that's when one box truck wasn't paying attention from behind, literally just slammed and pinned those 7 riders in between his truck and the car. First one I see on the ground is Gerard, and I knew right then and there that he was not with me anymore. And then there was 3 more further back from him. That was Oxoy, Michael Murray, and Tom Trauger. They were all together. Oxoy was still breathing at that point in time, but he did not seem that he was with us. Off to the side was Erin, Jerome, and Jose. They were in the desert. I ran over to Erin. She was on her side. Her eyes were open. She was shaking. I thought, Erin's okay. And there were there was this medic and his wife that had stopped. They just happened to be driving on the road, and they were so fast. They were so brave, and they were trying to do everything they could. They already had an IV in Erin. So when it looked like they had Erin, settled down and stable, the medic comes back to Oxoy. He puts a breather bag on him, but he tells me, he goes, "I'm not getting that much air into his lungs." And so shortly after that, that's when Oxoy passed. And then all of a sudden, we look back over at Erin, and she's just not doing well anymore. And I tried to breathe for her, but it didn't work. And then she passed. Jose was up and awake, but he was okay. He was up and talking. Later come find out he broke some bones in his arm. He had a bleed from his spleen, but he got that taken care of and he's home. Jerome, he took a severe concussion. It took his eyesight away. It's about 25 minutes before medical got there. The Flight for Life got there, took Jerome. It just got deathly quiet. And then NHP come and they started doing their investigation, the scene, the driver. They took the driver away. Did a blood draw on him. See, it's come out now that he was on meth. So then we're just kind of huddled, not feeling helpless. And a few of us went back down, and that's when I talked to the news. And then I came home.
So we can sit here and hope to pull at your heartstrings and make you feel bad about what happened. The most constructive thing we could do is come together and figure out a solution to this problem. Cars will always be on the roads and they will always be dangerous. Some people will always ride their bikes and even some have no choice. The law states we have to share the roads, so what is the best way to do that? That will work for everyone. If you take a look around the world and see trends that are happening, you will realize this issue is only bound to get worse. Bike sales are on the rise, and e-bikes account for the majority of those sales, which means bicycle traffic is only going to start increasing. Take a look at this road. It's no wonder that drivers feel entitled when they're out here. The infrastructure is built for cars, and by law, cars actually have to share the road with cyclists. And even to me, as a cyclist, that just doesn't even make any sense to ride out here on the road with them. What's even crazier is if I want to get to the other side of town, I actually have to ride on this road. And my only other option is to ride a couple miles in a different direction, to hop on another road that has just as much traffic, but a big bus lane that is also supposed to be shared with cyclists. So if I don't want to risk getting hit by a car, I can always opt to risk getting hit by a bus instead. But right now, I want you all to realize that while some of us ride bikes for leisure, others need to ride them to get to work. And some people, like our friend Erin Ray, needed to ride on the big open roads because she was a professional triathlete. She wouldn't have been able to train properly by riding her bike on these city streets and on bike paths filled with pedestrians who also feel entitled to the one place that was intended for us to ride safely. So, as you can see, there is no place that is 100% safe for us to ride and to train if that's what we need to do. And because of that, 5 of our friends were not the first and will not be the last ones we lose while out doing what we love. My hope is that in the future, the death of our beautiful friends won't be for nothing. Let's come together to do what we can to prevent future tragedies like this. Please share this video with anyone you feel could help our cause to raise awareness about the importance of being responsible drivers and sharing the road. And if you would like to help the families of the victims of this terrible tragedy, you can find the link in my description to make a donation. 100% of donations will go to the families of the victims. And when you see someone on the road, remember, they have a family waiting for them at home. Please don't make it impossible for them to get there.